Welcome to DaGod Talk. I'm your host, O Lady God. This is the podcast where gods and goddesses come together to discuss their business and the moves that they're making, helping you out either growing your business or yourself, or even starting your own business. So tap in and let's get on with the show. So, with this second episode, this is the second episode of the audio and the first episode for the visual. Plan on dropping the episodes every Friday as far as audio and visual on YouTube every Saturday. That is a plan that we have set up going on. But let's go ahead and get into it. This episode is pretty much going to be the episode that is giving out all the information. This is how all the episodes are going to be planned out to be. Giving out some gems, giving you out tips. And with this episode, I need everybody to go ahead and grab their pens, papers, notepads, and I'm going to give out 6 quick steps, probably 7 quick steps on how to start up a business. Not really growing your business, that's for another episode. But in this episode, I'm going to show you or tell you how to start up a business. And I'm going to use my business, Musically Game, as an example. So, first things first, I want to say, just with starting up a business, no matter what, you need to start up with doing something that you love to do or like to do. If you don't like or love to do it, you're not going to be fully committed. And when it gets real, I don't want to say when it gets bummy, but when you haven't reached your daily goals, or you didn't make the money that you thought you were going to make that day, or you didn't make any sales, it's going to be very heartbroken, especially when you felt like you've done everything to get a sale. So sticking with something that you love doing, you're not going to be worried about the money making part of it as much. Money is then going to be coming to you, because money is more of attracted to you at that point because of the things and the value that you bring as far as what you do and what you're supplying as far as to the people. So just to say that is mainly the very first step before starting up anything or looking for a career, as far as starting up your own business, owning something. Do it as far as in something that you love to do or like to do. And that's the first step. Second step, once you find out what you love to do, like to do, then you need to research. Research. Just research everything about it. So using me as an example, I love music. Music is my safe place. Listen to music 10 hours throughout of the day. Probably a little bit less now. Probably like 8 to 7 hours out of the day. Either way, music. As a fun thing to do sometimes, not lately as much lately, but as a fun thing to do, sometimes I like to play the game. So playing video games and music. I researched both businesses. They're trillion-dollar businesses. Sometimes play hand in hand. And not just video games, playing games outside with family, board games, just games in general. It brings a competitive nature, and it's a trillion-dollar industry. Music. Everybody listens to music, either making the music, working with the music, which is in a sense making it, making instruments for music for people to even make more music, editing music, using just sounds, period. Music can be used as far as just background sound for movies. So music can be used so many different ways, makes it a trillion-dollar industry. They play hand in hand. Gaming music is a thing. They have music that's played when people are playing games. If you're outside playing games with your family, as far as at a cookout, 9 times out of 10, you got music playing in the background. So I feel like they played hand in hand. I said, what is there something that I can do that still keeps me in that field? I knew I didn't want to make music anymore, or I knew I couldn't really make music, or I just didn't really want to, I would say. Not that I couldn't, because I'm sure if I actually took the time out, probably could do it. I just didn't really want to. Making the music was not something I wanted to do. Playing the game, I knew I could probably become a streamer or a Twitch gamer and start up on there. I knew that was a possibility, but I knew I didn't want to do just that. So then I started doing more and more research. Now, this is kind of coming into the third step. The second step is the research. The third step is finding out what it is that you want to do in that field, as far as in that area. So within my research, I found out that in just about every location, there's probably a music store and maybe a game store. Some locations it's very rare that you have both. And in a lot of locations, you don't have either. Now, I also realized that in these game stores and music stores, it's only being sold, or the majority of what they sell is actual video games or the CDs and vinyls for the music, which is 90% of digital now. And that's kind of where the world is going to. You see, as far as the video games, you see some of the board games are now on your phone, as far as digital to play with other people. So everything is pretty much going into the digital world. So while I was doing that research, I came upon finding out that, okay, now that I see everything's going digital, I also see that a lot of these stores don't have the accessories. They may have the music and vinyl, or they may have the video games, and they have some like branded items maybe, or they probably partnered with a couple companies and maybe have headphones. But it's usually a product that's very small. It doesn't tailor to every kind of gamer. It doesn't tailor to every person that listens to music and every genre, or how you even want to listen to music. So upon doing that, upon doing that research, I was like, okay, well, how can I reach out to everybody? I can't, yes, you could put it in a store, but it's kind of hard to get into a store, seeing how everything is going online. And online shopping is at an all-time high and constantly growing. So I was like, okay, I know it would have to be online. And then it would have to be accessories, because you can get the gaming on your game system, you can get the music on your phone. Now I just need the accessories so that I'm either helping you out with the gaming accessories and with the music accessories. So then I also was doing research, okay, well, how do I want to go about this? I would have to either get some of these products and keep them here, keep them at a location, and then ship them out. Upon doing that research, I found out that I actually don't have to do that. There's a way where I can reach out to suppliers that hold that inventory, or the suppliers that hold that inventory. I could reach out to them and necessarily have them ship out the order for me while still getting the sale as far as on my end. So upon doing that research, you have to break down the steps. And that is where the third step is. Breaking down the steps of where you want to go to. So I knew I didn't want to make music. I knew that playing the game was an option as far as for a streamer, but I knew it took a lot of work and you got to have a community for it. I didn't really want to go about it that way. I was like, maybe that's another option, but I want to go about it another way. I want to do something else. So upon doing that research, I found out as far as accessories can really help out people. And it's dealing with music and gaming, both two things I love to do. So upon doing even further research, I realized I didn't want to really do wholesale. I thought that I would still have to do wholesale, but upon doing more research, I found out that there's a way to actually not have to do that. Still creating website, still getting sales, still making money, still processing orders, helping out everything, and not having the inventory, or not having inventory as much. Upon doing that research, that comes into our fourth step. So I broke it down into steps of what I needed to do, and it steps into steps as far as breaking it down. So first step is finding what you love to do. Second step is doing the research. And third step is really even more research. So I guess you could combine it in the second step. But finding out the research, finding out what you want to do, and then breaking it up into steps on how to get there. The fourth step is coming up with a name or brand. So once I realized that I didn't want to do wholesale, I was like, okay, I don't have to necessarily have the product itself. I can just have it online. What do I have to do to get it online? And I have to create a website. Well, I don't want to just create a regular website with no name. Now I have to come up with a name. Then I was like, okay, what's a name that comes to mind? First thing that came to mind, Musically Gamed. I don't want to say it's the very first thing that came to mind, but kind of what came to mind. I kept coming up. I don't even remember what names I really had. I had like, I think I had like Ollie Store, the game and music store. I was coming up with some weird stuff, and then it was like gaming music store, and I was like, nah, that doesn't hit. The online store, it's an online accessory store, and then I didn't want to really just be an accessory store, because then it's accessories for what? There's accessories for a lot of things. There's car accessories, there's phone accessories, bike accessories, house accessories, so many accessories. So I was like, I gotta say something, have a name that comes like directly to the point. And somehow I came up with Musically Game. I want to say it was like 3 more guesses, and it was just like music, game, musically. I was like, okay, musically. I think that used to be an app or something that died out. I don't even know if they died out or if they're still around. But it was gamed, and then it was like gaming, and then I was like, nah, I'm not gaming. And then it rolled off the tongue, and it just went together. Musically Gamed. I went with it, researched it online real quick. So kind of went back into the third step, researched online. Is there even a Musically Gamed? Is there anything that comes closed? What do you research when you type in music and game? And you get a bunch of weird stuff, but it's nowhere to be found. So I was like, okay, bet, Musically Gamed. I'm gonna roll with it. Upon doing that research and coming up with a name, there's a link. I want to say it may be onto your city's main website, as far as like your governor's website. I might be wrong, so don't state me on that. I'm gonna find the link and most likely get into the description. But you're gonna research, see if that name even exists, or see if it's already taken. If it's not, right then and there, here goes a little bonus. You can go ahead and register your business as an EIN and get an EIN number for that name and kind of trademark it. I would look into trademarking that name you don't have to right away, but at least go ahead and register for an EIN number, because at least for registering for EIN number, it's registering for the EIN number is kind of like solidifying that you have that business registered, at least itself. So if you already come up with a name, you probably don't have a logo or anything yet, or it's going to change at some point. You're probably going to change your logos numerous times. I'm working on my third logo, and we have probably 2-3 different designs we're working on now. But like I said, that's more into the growing part. Once you come up with a name, you go to the irs.gov, and it will say register for EIN number or get your EIN number. Free, set it up, smooth, that easy. So that's a quick little gem for you right there. Registering your EIN number or registering your business would be kind of the fifth step. Now, in the first episode, I talked about this a little bit. You don't have to register your business in order to make sales and place orders. I looked it up and did some research that actually you don't even have to trademark the name or anything, as long as it's not locally around. Now, when you start going as far as nationwide and you're going from state to state, that's when you want to get trademarked. That's when you want to get it at least registered with the EIN. But if you want to just start it out, you can make shirts if you want to be a designer, and you can just have your name as far as crazy art designs. If nobody else locally has that image or has that name, crazy art, you can sell as far as products, you can sell anything as far as locally with that name, as long as nobody else has it. It's just that when you're going statewide, that's when you want to go ahead and see as far as getting it registered or not, because if another state has that name, or if you looked it up online and you don't see that somebody else already claimed that name, once you start going statewide, if it comes to find out that somebody else does have that name, they can sue you for it, take over the business, or take everything that you got pretty much. They do anything they want with that business once they got the name. Or make it, then you have to come up to, you would either have to change your name. It's something that tailors into it. If you got to change your name, if you already grew big with the name that you already got, that sucks, and now you got to go back and do that. So please do the research on that. That's basically all what starting up a business is. So that's pretty much all the steps. First step, finding out what you love to do. Do some deep soul searching. If you don't know what you love to do, take some time out and find out what you love to do. Not what somebody else loves to do, not what you like to do when you are a parent or at work. Find it out what you love to do, what makes you happy, what could keep you going even when there's no money being made. Because that's what it's going to take sometimes. Because even if you don't make some money, you got to get back up, reevaluate where you messed up at, or pretty much weed out the weeds, get out of the negative, implement some of the changes that could bring the positivity or the changes that you're seeking to reach your goal. So once you realize that, doing the first step of what you love, then the second step of doing the research of what it is that you're wanting to be. Once you realize, or once you kind of do research as far as in that field, if you find out something that you want to be, I would say like this, if you want to draw, if you love drawing, you just realize that there's something about drawing. I didn't even realize it, but every time I come home from work, I start drawing. I cook and clean, and I'm drawing with the food. I'm I'm drawing all the time. I doodle every time. I doodle everything. So with your drawing, now you want to research, okay, well, let's do some research as far as onto myself. I see that I draw little stuff. I draw quick little doodles, or I draw like comic book strip art. What's some artists that do that now? You want to research that. Then once you research that, now it's more of a, okay, now that I'm in that field, or not really in that field just yet, how do I get into that field? So once you figure out what it is that you want to get into, you want to get into the art world, you want to get into the art field, how do I become this artist that fits my skill, fits what I want to do? I know I'm really good at doing this little art. What if I could do something that's just little art the whole entire time? All right, now we got to get into the steps of how do I even get onto that? I can do little custom pieces for people, and now I got to make a page or something that lets people know, hey, I'm doing custom pieces. Or I got to do custom pieces for people and just give them out and have them tag me into this one page or one thing. So I constantly do that. Or I got to make these little custom pieces and I'm going to sell them out. You're going to break it down into steps of different ways of how you want to go about it. Once you do the research onto that, that's, like I said, that's more the third step. The fourth step is getting onto the steps. Getting the steps, getting it all squared away. Fourth step is coming up with the name. So after you find out what you love to do, research, break it down into steps. Still doing research, really. You know what? I'll simplify that. First step, doing what you love. Second step, research. Non-stop research. Find out what you love. Keep researching. Research. Third step, coming up with the name or brand. Fourth step, breaking down the steps to become what you want to be. Artists, if you want to sell products, if you want to come up with a product, what is it that's going to take to get there? What do you need? What are the tools? What is it that you need to get there? Once you break all of that down, once you come up with a name, once you have the steps, then you just do those steps. Do you need a website? Do you need a social media profile? Do you need flyers? Do you need messaging? Do you need email? Do you need a way of contacting people? Do you need inventory? Do you need an app? Do you need, it's so many things that the steps you can go about, and it's just how you want to go about it. So again, using me as an example, I realized I wanted to do something with music. I also realized that gaming could be a part of it or help out in a way as well. I researched gaming and music, realized just about every gaming and music store does not have accessories that you need. And mainly everything is online. Third, I came up with the name Musically Gamed. Fourth, I broke it down into what do I need to do. I found a way to get the supplies without actually having the supplies. Or if I want to, I can still do so and have some wholesale, and I can sell big to companies as far as businesses, or I could just sell individually for people. And mainly it's tailored just to individuals, but we do have set up, or we will be set up here soon, where we can do wholesale. Found a way to do that. Found a way to create a website. Created the website myself, actually. Researched on how to get a logo. Found somebody to actually do that for me. You got Fiverr, Shopify. It's just so many things as far as somebody creating it for you, you creating it yourself. all these website companies, what's another one? WordPress, I think, is another one. Wix is another one. They have it set up template on how to create a website. So breaking it down, what you need. Once you have that set up, you just go for it. From right then and there, you just go for it. Now, this is just starting up as far as the business or side income. Even if you want to start this up as a side income, you're like, I love my job. I don't want to get rid of my job, but I do want to have a side income, which I highly suggest in this world. If the pandemic hasn't showed you that you need a side income, at least in this world, or to be happy, and it could be gone at any minute, I don't know what the pandemic has showed you, but it definitely showed me that. So with the one life you have, either be happy or in doing the things that you love, or you're going to be having to make some money as far as on the side, which you can do both. So keep the job that you have, start up that business as far as for a side income, and have it as something that you own. And who knows, it could probably be turned into your full and main income, and then allow you to invest and make moves into other things. So that is just the start of pretty much, that's the steps and start of how to start up your business. And that's pretty much, for this episode, I'll say this episode, there's no guests here. Like I said, this is the second audio. So if you haven't listened to the first one, it is now on all platforms, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, you name it, it's on all streaming platforms. First episode is out. Second episode will be out here soon. Plan on doing this every Friday. Videos dropping on YouTube every Saturday. Follow on Instagram and Facebook at DaGod Talk. You can also check out more, leave a review, check out more episodes. Stay tuned for the content and everything else that's coming. Stay tuned for the guests that's coming. Because even though this is the first video, and it's just myself, the guest that we have lined up is, I'll give a little tip. We have a guest that's a tattoo artist, that's also an NFT creator, and an artist. It's a whole lot going on. Other than that, all I can say is tap in, stay tuned for more, appreciate everything that has been done so far, and hopefully these jewels will help you out. I feel like that's pretty much everything I can say and do. These jewels will get you to start up your business. But I'm out. Peace. Already got out. Peace. Enjoy the rest of your day.